West Africa. I'm happy to see you.
Same here. Can you tell us how you first got involved with the Nanda Marga and initiation?
Well, it's a long story. I will try to make it short. It's when I was 12 years old, I read a book from Paulo Coelho. It was The Alchemist, and that was a very very special time. So I thought, I hope in my life I will have a legend like he is telling in the book. And well, life went on, and I was studying in France. I was studying and doing different things, and I was quite successful in what I was doing, but I was feeling, not so happy. And I was really wondering what's the meaning of life. And the more time was going, the more I was unsatisfied with everything I was doing. So anyway, I studied physics, and I finished my master degree, and then I studied some philosophy. I thought maybe philosophy will answer my questions about life.
Where was
but
this?
It did not. That was in France, in Grenoble, southeast of France. So I didn't know really what to do, but I felt that before I get committed in marriage or on any work, I should find out why I exist, and I should be more stable. So after I finished my studies, I went to meet my friends in Marseille, and I played some punk rock music for a bit more than a year. And then the whole mood and the whole life became so dark and pessimistic. So I thought, I really something has to happen. Enough. Something has to happen. So I had a small car. I sold my small car, and I bought a one-way ticket to India. People told me India will change you. So that was in 2000. And I went to India to a friend who was working at the Alliance Française in New Delhi. I spent a little bit of time with him, and then I went on doing weeding workers on organic farms. I was one of the first in India, and I worked in 3 different farms, and it was very interesting. And this new life and the complete new continent, and everything was new, and I had some time for myself. But the main thing is that I realized that people who are much more poorer, who would have much more reasons to complain, they don't complain. They are quite the opposite, quite joyful. And I wondered, what is the problem? Why am I whining all the time when I have everything I want? And these people, they are so joyful, where they suffer actually more than me. So what happened during this trip? But it was in 99. That was in 99 actually. And what happened during this trip is I slowly I started to realize that maybe it's not the world which is dark. It must be my mind. It must be my own mind which is projecting something dark. And that was beautiful, because then there was a possible exit. That if I change my mind, maybe I will see the world differently. Anyway, so it started like that. And then I work in a farm in Rajasthan, and the boss of the farm was doing asanas every morning. So, I was interested. I was looking at him, because I used to do sports. I used to grow up in the Alps, so I was doing sports, and I felt it was nice. So one morning I asked him, can I join you? And that was my first asanas, first asanas class, so to say. And I felt so nice. I really, I loved it so much. And in the end also of the class, we sat and then we sang Om 3 times, and I felt it was beautiful, just very beautiful. And then we went to sweep in the front of our, huts, because Rajasthan is a very desertic area, and to sweep the sand. And then I had the feeling that time everything was just perfect. The lines of the broom on the sand. I was just so happy. So I'm there sweeping, and wow, So I was thinking, this is really something. That these asanas must be very powerful. I will carry on doing it. Until today, it's extremely rare that I don't do asanas, at least in the morning. So it started like that, and then traveling alone was not easy, and then I ended up in the Himachal Pradesh. I wanted to see the Tibetan parliament in exile, so I went there and I was doing trekking, and when I was walking in the mountains, I used to meet some Tibetan monks, and they were very lovely, very peaceful, very friendly, and I really felt that they touched something which I don't touch, you know. They are connected to something which eludes me. And so I started to do meditation. So I would kind of hide myself, find some rock and sit in meditation and try to feel that peace that I was feeling in them. And after some times, they kind of offered me actually to stay with them. But somehow when I started to read the scriptures, I felt that I don't belong to that. It's a bit dry, and then to live in a monastery, I like life, you know, I like traveling, I like working, I like people. I think it's not for me. And I decided to go back to France. So that was, all this trip was 4 months journey. And when I went back to France, I met again the same friends, my partners, you know, for the music. And very quickly I felt that, you know, my mind again is becoming negative, and what I earned, you know, I'm losing it. So I have to carry on traveling. This is not the end. And I looked on the internet for this woofing, and the farm that I found was in Czech Republic. There was one master unit, and they were saying they do yoga, they are vegetarian. I was already vegetarian at that time. Actually, I was vegetarian from my teenage, because for ethical reasons I had decided to become vegetarian already. Now I was doing yoga, so I got attracted. So I said, yes, I'm coming. And I went there, and then I traveled to Prague, and then I traveled to the farm. And it was very unique, you know, because before I reached the farm, I was walking. I had to walk a lot. It was the 1st of May, everything was closed. I had to walk a lot, and then there was the hill. I would walk on the hill. At the top of the hill, there was a cross. I thought, wow, this is really mystical, you know. I don't know what is waiting for me. And then behind that hill, that was the master unit, actually, Didi's master unit. So I reached there, and Didi and Alpana welcomed me, and well, at the end of the day, we sat together, and then she started to talk to me, you know, about Dharma, about what she's doing, and that was so, I don't know what's the word, it really impacted me so much, you know, like why no one told me those things before when she talked about Dharma, multi-Dharma, you know, this concept of Dharma really struck me, because I felt so unsatisfied, and here it was explaining me that, no, you know, these objects in the outer world can never quench the human thirst. And it was exactly what I felt, but she was like putting words on what I was feeling deep inside. And that was really strong. And my English was not so good, and she was speaking a lot, because she was feeling I was so open, you know, I was just absorbing what she was saying. So in the night, I would try to write down everything that she said, because it was so unique. This is it. And so immediately I started to do asanas and to do kirtan and meditation with her, and try to follow her routine. And on the 3rd day, I sat for meditation. I think it was the 3rd day or 4th day, very quickly, and I sat for meditation behind her in the Dhamma Chakra hall, and I closed my eyes, and I was incapable of meditating because my mind was so peaceful. But somehow the mind went somewhere, and I lost, you know, conscious of myself. And then when I came back to my senses, I felt, the first thing that I felt is that I am immortal. What I really am will never ever die. Very strong, very beautiful. And I thought maybe I felt my soul. But then from what I read before, we all have a different soul. But here I felt not only that I have a soul and that I am that soul, and it is never going to die, but also that the plants, the animals, the people, we all have the same soul. So also this feeling of loneliness that I had been suffering from just vanished at once. And I started to cry. It was so good, so much love. I had wanted love in my life. I was having love, you know, more than I can contain. It was so good. So I was feeling that, I was almost afraid before to give love because I thought I have like a limited amount of love. So every time I give, it's reducing. But now I was feeling that no, it's just I'm part of the flow, and I just opened the door and the love is flowing through. It was wonderful, wonderful. So the whole day I'm there, cry. It's like a completely new perspective of life. I even try in the evening to go and dig a bit the field. We had a garden, and then after a few times, I'm just kneeling on the floor, on the ground, and feeling light everywhere spreading. But really cool. So from that time, I decided to stay there, of course, and I stayed there quite some time. I think over a year. Was helping her to receive we had volunteers, other volunteers who would come with woofers, so I would take care of them and work in the farm. And Diidi and Prama was there also often. It was just wonderful. Difficult also because I, renounced so many of my bad habits and tried to be aligned with the routine, and I was very sincere. So after 1 year, 1 year and a half, I decided to become LFT. I became LFT. I worked in Denmark. Because Dadaji was my acharya, so I became LFT under him in Denmark. Then I followed him. He became SS in New York sector. I followed him in New York sector. I was 6 months in the States, and then 1 year and a half in Puerto Plata in Mexico. And that was like the test he gave me. There was no really acharya, guiding me at that time. I was in one Jagriti in Pernavaka. And after the time I spent there, I decided that yes, this is my life. I want to become an acharya. In 2005, I went to the training center. That's how it happened.
How old were you?
I was 24 years old when I met, in 2000, I was 24 years old when I met Anand Marg. And I went to the training center in 2005, so I was 29 years old.
What was the training like?
Training was difficult. Honestly, I worked almost 4 years as an LFT, and I was feeling, with all my pride, that I am ready for the field. I don't want to be in the training center so long. And training center is difficult, so the routine is there. Not so much the routine, but you're always stuck with the same people, and then, I just wanted to move. I like moving. So it was a bit hard, but of course, reflecting upon it later on, I understand how useful it was. And I have a nice story about the training center, is that, I was monitored almost all the time. And then after 1 year and a half, I was sent in the bakery in Stockholm, and I became manager and then manager driver. And then when I returned from that time, it was 2 years now, a bit more than 2 years that I was a trainee. I really felt, okay, this shaman is happy with me, and a good boy. I'm going to be sent to India now. And so I'm in the training center, and then that day I was cutting some wood, and then Shambhu Shivananji came. He was the shaman at that time. And then he comes and, namaskar, and we are talking. And then he tells me, next year when you come, you can cut the wood like this. One more year, I have to be in the training center. So my heart kind of broke down. I try not to show it, but really, I wanted to go. I wanted to go and work for Baba. And then, not so long after that, Nigamananji came to visit the training center. He came to visit us, and we all sat, and he was telling Baba stories. And he was this big person like that, physically very big. He was also so charismatic. And then he was telling stories, Baba stories, and as he is telling Baba stories, I'm feeling that Baba is here. I'm really feeling that his skin, Baba is present, and I was very, very difficult. And then in the night, I had a dream. I had a dream that Baba was there. There was a huge Jagriti, and Baba was on the upper floor, and so many margiis were there to see him. So I decided to climb outside of the building. I climbed the building. and I entered through the window, and then Baba is welcoming me, and he says, sit by my side, sit by my side. So he was putting a chair there and sitting there, and he's talking to the margis, but I am beside him. And that was really fantastic. So when I woke up in the morning, the dream had been so vivid that I think whatever comes, Baba, I surrender. Even if I have to stay in the training center my whole life, no problem. I'm happy as I am. And strange enough, the weekend after that, or 2 weeks after that, shaman called us, and we were 3 at that time, and told us, okay, you go to India now. So, once you surrender, things happen. So we went to India with 2 other brothers, and I finished my training. That was it lasted altogether about 3 years. 3 years. And then I was sent as RS Akla to work as the regional secretary of Accra region in West Africa. And till today, I'm here based in Burkina Faso and running a lot of projects in Burkina Faso in some other works also.
What sort of projects?
And I am mainly focusing on the master unit now. And the master unit, we have a big school, primary and secondary. And we have also a clinic, maternity, and we have a project for water access for the villages around. And we have afforestation programs and moringa project, farm project, so many projects, a lot of things. And it's the rural area of Burkina Faso is very, very poor, but very beautiful people. So, yeah.
Many margiis?
Not so many. It's a Muslim country. I mean, in the countryside, it's very Muslim. In the cities, we have half with Christians. But not so many margiis. Many initiates actually, but people who really commit and become margis, it's a bit difficult because the society is very much functioning according to religious patterns, and so it's hard to be out of those religions, I guess.
Yes, recently I did a few interviews with margiis from Africa, and a lot of them were expressing the difficulties they had, I think mainly with Christianity, towards Ananda Marga, and superstition and different problems I've had.
Yeah. But at the same, there are countries where we have many margiis, where it's easier. Like now I'm in Ghana, and there the devotion is very natural to them. And we have many more margiis.
Right.
And also, as a matter of fact, I'm very, very busy with the project, so I don't have so much time for catch-ups.
Very good.
I didn't meet Baba personally, physically, because I was born after I met Anamaga after he passed away. But I had some dreams of him. This really helped me throughout my life. And one particular dream is quite remarkable, so I'd like to...
Yeah.
When I was a lefty, I didn't know whether I'm going to become a Acharya or not. It was a hard decision to take because you have to renounce, it's not easy. So what happened is that I was driving my SS around, and at some point my heart was becoming more and more dry. I was really getting to a point where I don't feel so much devotion, and I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. So in the night, I thought, let me sleep. But when I would sleep, I will fold my sweater as a pillow, and I will picture that these are Baba's feet. I'm lying my head on. And so I slept with that ideation that I'm sleeping on Baba's feet. And in the night, I dreamed that I was in India, and here is the pandal. I recognize the pandal, and I'm getting closer to the pandal, and when I got close to the pandal, I hear screams, Parampita Ki Jai, Parampita Ki Jai. And I feel that, wow, this is already the end of Baba's darshan. I have been missing him so much, now that I have an opportunity to see him. It's already the end of the darshan. So I am running, and then I thought, let me go around. So at least when Baba goes from the pandal, I have a chance to see him. But when I reach at the back, many margiis had the same idea, and I'm far from Baba, and Baba is already passing by and turning his back. So I am very disheartened. And I close my eyes, and inside, I call on my body, come on, Baba, come. And when I open my eyes, Baba has stopped, and he turns towards me now. He turns towards me, and I can see that he looks at me. And then he comes towards me. He's like pushing aside the margiis and get closer and closer, and he comes very close to me. When he is very close to me, he takes his hands and he removes one, how do you call this?
A ring.
The ring. He removes his ring, he takes my hands and passes the ring, on my finger. And then he smiles at me and he tells me, family life is not fit for you. You should become a WT. He used the word WT, full-time worker. And he smiled so sweetly, so I'm in heaven. And then he goes. And then when I woke up, it's very vivid. So I see my Dada is there, and I tell him, what the dream. So Dada telling me, Baba married you.
Beautiful dream.
And it was very beautiful. But my mind was not 100% ready yet. So in my mind I'm feeling, I don't remember anymore whether he told me that I am not fit for WT life, I should become a family person, or I am not fit for family person, I should become WT. But of course, I understood very quickly that that's right actually. I don't fit for family life, I know that. And I want so much to become an acharya. So that was very beautiful, and it helped me to go towards that direction. And the second thing that helped me to choose to become an acharya is that we were in Mexico, and there was some other LFTs were around. And so we all met, all the LFTs, and we are discussing whether, I want to become an acharya or not, and everyone is weighing the pluses and the minuses of the different paths, and I'm doing the same. But at some point I took some distance, and I'm thinking, but we are, maybe we should see the thing differently. Where am I needed more? Instead of thinking what is best for me, what is the world needing more? And at that time it became very clear, because there was no acharya in Mexico. I think there was one in Mexico City only, and there is so much need for acharyas. So then the answer came immediately to me that I have to become an acharya. And then my mind became very peaceful. I knew that this is the right answer, from that perspective. And yes, this was all very good. I am very lucky. I had a hard life because before I met Anandamaga, but since I met Anandamaga, I've been very, very happy and blessed, with this life. And now working in Africa, I love it so much. It has been a blessing all along. Yes. So, thank you for letting me explaining those things. And I really love this your channel. I'm very happy whenever I see that some margiis or Dada or Didi are telling their stories. It's useful, very useful. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for sharing your story so others can be inspired by your journey. Namaskar.
Namaskar.